I'm Tom from Do-It-Yourself Home Automation, and this is a look at everything you need to create a coop for your backyard chickens. So let's start with the coop itself. This is the Tankula large chicken coop. It's comes not totally assembled, but these pieces kind of come in panels, and it comes with screws, and you basically just screw everything together. Took me about an hour to put together. I believe it's made with fir wood, so it's pretty water resistant. If you want to use it outside, I use mine just inside my garage, and I have a little run outside. But pretty easy to assemble and pretty, good overall. I think very secure. Got the chicken wire down at the bottom, and again, these nice solid wooden sides. You've got the nesting box up at the top here, and a place where they like to roost at night. Little windows. I got a little piece of plastic that stayed stuck on mine. Not a big deal, but you can see through the windows in there to check for eggs. And you've got a nice run down at the bottom. Now, on inside of this, I've got Small Pet Select aspen bedding, so that's what I'm using for the bedding in here. But underneath that, there's actually a floor. You can see a little bit of it here that's raised a bit, and that's also chicken wire. So they can hang out down here, wander around. You can take that floor out if you're using this outside like a chicken tractor, and that way they can actually be right on the bare ground or on the grass, and you can move this around. So some people have a coop that's bigger, and they use this for a sort of a day coop or a chicken tractor to move their chickens around their backyard. So again, nesting box up here. Now let's take a look at food and water. So this is the 2-gallon poultry waterer from Rent-A-Coop. It's a corner model, so it's got these two little waterers that stay about 80% full with water. You just basically fill this up. There's a hole under this thing on top, and you just pour your water in, and it can hold, again, 2 gallons, so it's enough to keep your chickens watered for a long time. And I love this because these little sort of waterers here stay about 80% full. Unlike a traditional kind of vacuum seal waterer, this doesn't leak nearly as much. So it's actually really great. You can put it here in your coop. They'll learn to drink from this. As they drink, these little cups will refill. And again, you don't really get a lot of leakage. The aspen bedding here, I think, again, works really well. Small Pet Select. And I like it because it's cheap. It's pretty absorbent. I don't like using hay because it gets kind of waterlogged, and it ends up creating an ammonia smell. I like that this has a pretty pleasant smell. It's safe for your chickens, and it also makes a nice kind of nesting material. So mine usually end up nesting up here and laying eggs up here in the nest box. They also like to hang out up here at night. You can see there's a ramp going down to the lower level of the coop. I've got more of my aspen bedding down here, and then I've got underneath the whole coop, I've got these basically dog pads. They're almost like dog pads, and they are very absorbent. People use them sometimes like in nursing homes too. So they're basically very absorbent pads. They're blue, and then they have this absorbent material on top of them that sits under the coop. So if there's any spills or anything, it absorbs that. Stuff gets through the aspen bedding and then that open floor. Then you've got a nice surface underneath, and it also makes cleanup really easy. So when I go to clean this out, I basically just lift the whole coop up, take the floor out. I didn't screw the floor in on mine, and I just roll those up with the bedding inside of it and throw the whole thing away, and it's super easy. For food, I've got this really cool little coop cup thing that clips onto the side, and that keeps the food out of the bedding, because if you have chickens, you know they love to scratch. So if you put food down at their level, they'll scratch and they'll knock it over and they'll spread it all around. So this keeps it up out of the way where they can snack on it all day, and I free feed them. So I just keep this full. And the feed itself is Purina Leina feed. I think I'm saying that right. Leina, I'm not sure. But it's really high quality feed. It has all of their complete nutrients, and I like that it also blends the oyster shells that you would normally need to provide separately into the feed, so that they get really nice strong shells on the eggs. And I actually just took an egg out of there a moment ago, so here's an egg, proof that this is all working for me. This is from my Americana, so you can see it's actually a nice blue color. Purina Leina feed, Leina, I'm not sure, but really good quality, and they seem to like it a lot. So I just keep that totally full. Water up here, food down here. Again, aspen bedding, Tankula coop. The one thing I'd say about this coop, it says that it's a large coop. I would say it's a small coop. Works great for 2 chickens. Maybe you could have 3 in there if you let them out a lot during the day. I wouldn't go with any more than that, though. I think it's a great size, again, for 2, but I wouldn't say that it's necessarily extremely large. But combine all those things together. One other thing that I would say is helpful to add, I'm not using it right now, I just got it off to the side, but this is a Cozy Coop heater. And you can put it basically by the side on cold nights, switch it on, just be careful that it's not in contact with the materials. It adds some heat. The chickens like to cluster down in the bottom there, and keeps them warm, especially if you're in a really cold climate where it gets below freezing at night. So that's my whole setup, and easy stuff to have that you can get really easily to have backyard chickens. And I think there's really only one thing missing from this, and that's, of course, the chickens. There they are, enjoying their Leanna feed, enjoying their coop, coming up the stairs here to check out and maybe have a little water out of that Rent-A-Coop waterer. You can see they're really happy in this setup.